Hello again, folks. Welcome back to My Solar Addiction. And this time of year, we have sales going on every day. Yesterday was Black Friday. And today and tomorrow, as I like to call it, is Cyber Weekend. So if you haven't already blown the budget on Black Friday, you could get some incredible deals today and tomorrow during Cyber Weekend. And Signature Solar is having some incredible sales on Cyber Weekend, Cyber Saturday, and Cyber Sunday. So let's take a look at what sales are going on today and tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, during Cyber Weekend. This is the sales that Signature Solar is having during Cyber Weekend, Cyber Saturday and Cyber Sunday, which falls between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So the first sale that they're having on during Cyber Weekend is going to be 10% off on inverters. So if you're looking to purchase an inverter, you may want to make that purchase during Cyber Weekend, Saturday or Sunday, the 29th or 30th of November, and get that 10% off. Now, they're also offering the second discount is they offer a $100 flat rate shipping on orders over $3,000. So one inverter alone might cost you $3,000 depending on which model you get. So it's pretty easy to get to that $100 flat rate shipping. The third deal or steal or sale that they're putting on during Cyber Weekend is they're going to have some doorbuster flash sales throughout the day on panels. So you might want to pay attention to the website during Cyber Weekend and see when panels are going on sale. There will be flash sales. They're also going to have some sales on selected mounting solutions, as well as some refurbished units and some other products. So you're going to want to pay attention to Signature Solar's website during the weekend so that you can see what panels are going for sale, mounting solutions, as well as some refurbished units. The fourth thing that they're doing as far as sales during Cyber Weekend, they're going to have deep discounts on selected panels. So you have to look at the website to see what panels are going to have those discounts. You need to pay attention to the website like I just mentioned on that third sales item above. And then the fifth thing is they're going to continue all the clearance items. There's a clearance page on Signature Solar's website, and all those clearance items will continue to be on clearance sale. So might want to check that out if you're looking to pull the trigger this weekend on some new solar equipment. So let's go over taking advantage of these sales. What items would I recommend as far as taking advantage of this sale this weekend at Signature Solar? So here we are on the inverters page, the general inverters page of Signature Solar's website, and we can see that there's 4 different types of inverters that they sell. My favorite personally is the hybrid inverter because I do live in the city and I have a grid-tied agreement to sell energy to my provider, my energy provider locally. So the hybrid works best for me. And I'm going to go over my favorite hybrid inverters, the ones that I own, I have experience with, that I would recommend to purchase during this sale on Cyber Weekend. Here are the hybrid inverters, and I have 2 of them. The first one I have is the EG4 18K PV. Now, I've had the EG4 18K PV for almost 2 years now, and I used to have 2 of them in parallel because I needed 2 of them in parallel to actually accommodate the amount of energy I needed to run my house. So the 18K PV has been around for a while. It's a real sturdy unit, 12,000 watts of continuous output, and it's built like a tank. So it's well worth the price of admission. So the 18K PV, like I said, is rated at 12,000 watts output. Max PV input is 21,000 watts. And I think personally from experience, if you're trying to do whole home backup and you want to go to total energy independence, which is my goal always, you need to get to that around 21,000 watts or 20,000 watts of PV coming in, and you could actually accommodate 21,000 watts with just one 18K PV. The Mac charging current is 250 amps. There's 3 MPPTs so that you can fit that 21,000 watts of solar in there. And it's a well-built unit. It's an all-in-one, which means that you have your MPPTs, your charge controllers, all of the things that you would normally have separate back in the day are all in one unit. That's why they call it an all-in-one or a hybrid inverter. So I highly recommend the 18K PV. Current price is $48.98. You would get that 18K PV for $4408.20 or $4,408.20 and save you about $500, close to that. So you might want to pull the trigger on buying your 18K PV during Cyber Weekend when you get 10% off of inverters. So here we are on the FlexBoss 21, and the FlexBoss 21 is rated at 16,000 watts of continuous output power and 12,000 kilowatts continuous output power using batteries alone. You can get the 16 kilowatt continuous output if you have enough PV coming in, and you no longer need the grid as of the result of a recent firmware update. It used to be required for the grid to be there for you to get that 16 kilowatts. So make sure you've got your firmware up to date so that you can actually get the 16 kilowatts out of the unit even without any grid connection. Now, the max PV input is the same as the 18K PV, 21 kilowatts. And like I said, you want to be around 20 kilowatts if you're trying to achieve total energy independence. And you can also, FlexBoss 21 can be paralleled 10 units, which could get you all the way up to 160 kilowatts of power if you have a situation requiring that amount of output. So this weekend, if you purchase the FlexBoss 21 during Cyber Weekend and get 10% off, the current price is $41.99. With that 10% discount, it'd be $37.79.10. So you would save a decent amount of money by purchasing your FlexBoss 21 this weekend during Cyber Weekend from Signature Solar. There's a link in the description below. So here we are back at the inverter page. Another option that you could have chosen would be for off-grid inverters. Now, what I would recommend, I don't own any of these off-grid inverters. I'm going to be frank about that, but I know people that have them. So the off-grid inverter that I would personally recommend right now would be the EG4 12000 XP off-grid inverter version 2. Now, the reason why I say version 2 is there have been some upgrades to the 12000 XP, and now you can get, with PV coming in, got some energy coming in from your solar panels, you can get 15,000 watts continuous power out of the 12000 XP. It used to only be 12,000 watts. You still can get 12,000 watts without PV coming in, so even at nighttime, you could have 12,000 watts from your inverter handling your loads. Okay? There's 2 MPPTs in there, and it says 12,000 watts per MPPT. So once again, we can get over that 20,000 watts of solar coming in, which I highly recommend if you're looking to be completely off-grid and energy independent. Okay? But remember, you can get that discount this weekend, Cyber Weekend, and the 12,000 XP is normally $25.89.29. But if you purchase it this weekend, it would be $23.30.36. So $2,330 versus $25.89. That's a nice discount. So another option as far as purchasing inverters and getting a 10% discount this Cyber Weekend would be a grid tie inverter. Now I have a grid tie inverter, a Growatt 11.4 kilowatt grid tie inverter. It's the version 3 of it. And it's a 400 volt system though, and it works with my LG Prime batteries that are 400 volt batteries. So this couldn't work with your 48 volt system. It is a nice little unit. Let's take a look at it. So the name gives it away. The output power is 11.4 kilowatts or 11,400 watts. Max PV input is 22.8 kilowatts or 22,800 watts. This is a high voltage system, and the max output current is 48 amps, and its rated output is at 240 volts, which is good for the United States. This is the US version. I'm sure they have a European version, but the price is $1706 right now, But if you actually purchased it during Cyber Weekend, you would get it for $1,535.40. So $1,535.40 versus $1,706. That's a decent discount. And depending on your needs, you may need 2 of them to handle the amount of load in your home. So make sure you do your math on that. But it's a great time to make a purchase on an inverter, even if it's a grid-tied system, a hybrid system, or an off-grid system. So thanks again for watching the video. I hope you're having a good Cyber Weekend and you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. You've gotten over eating all that turkey. Hopefully you're going to have a nice Christmas by purchasing a system through Signature Solar. You could use the links in the description below. You could help out my channel without costing you anything and also get an additional $50 off by using my links. I hope you like the material that I'm delivering to you. Please like and subscribe. It helps with YouTube and I would greatly appreciate it. So once again, hope you have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy your Cyber Weekend and try to stay energy independent. Cyber Weekend's going to be really tough for the solar addicted people out there because you're going to want to buy something even if you don't need it. So Merry Christmas. I hope to see you guys soon. I've got a lot of videos in progress right now and they will be coming out soon.
Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed our video.